Is that a thing you're fine with?
I don't care. I really don't
Okay.
care. Whatever works. Whatever works. I'm getting set up. I'm about to share it out and everything, and then we'll start the actual reaction part of this.
Alrighty. What's the stream title?
Rap and autism.
I think that pretty much encapsulates what we're talking about today.
My stream titles are always crazy, bro.
Rap and autism. All right.
All
Is
right,
yet to recommend. Oh, never mind.
I'm almost ready. All right, I'm ready to rap and be autistic.
Alrighty. Let's see how this goes, man.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna see how this goes.
Oh boy.
This is
Oh.
this is gonna be a bit of a fun one. Let's just say that.
Oh.
Welcome everyone to the stream. Happy to be here. What is up, Dish? How you doing?
Hello, hello.
These are very true things that you are putting in chat, absolutely. Anyway, so got a lot to talk about today. Trump went over how vaccines cause autism, and Tylenol
And
apparently is the
Tylenol.
cause of everything too. So we're gonna start with something lighter. So the MAGA rapper Forgiato Blow put out this absolute hood banger of a song called Good versus
Oh,
Evil.
not enough. I would call that a hood banger. Me and you might have two different definitions for what a hood banger is.
So first off, just want to say this music video is in all of 360p.
Oh wow.
So this is gonna be a blurry watch for me. I hope it's a little better on stream, but for context, I have a giant 4K monitor, so this looks like
Oh
absolute
yeah.
horse shit.
Oh.
But so anyway, we're gonna listen to a song about lynching. It is a pro-lynching song, apparently. That's what
Oh
TikTok's been
goodness.
telling me. So I decided to bring in the rap genius,
I
Kenny.
don't know if that's my title here.
I keep playing with my septum ring. Okay. I guess you could call that a lynching if you want. Anyway, before we get too wild here, let's dive right on into the song.
Whoa, we need a big tall tree and a short piece of rope. Hang 'em up high at sundown.
No way.
Folks all know you don't mess around in our town.
For context, I've met this guy, right? This is
You
Forgiato.
have?
I've met him in person.
What? How'd that go?
Dude, I met him with Taj, right? And
Oh
just
goodness.
we're like standing in a very public area filled with people. And from the corner, I just hear, "Hey yo, Antifa! Hey yo, Antifa, is that you?" come out of this guy's mouth.
Antifa?
No, these are MAGA rappers. Like, these are conservative musicians putting out this song. This is not, unfortunately, a meme. This is what I would classify as hate music.
A big tall tree and a short piece of rope. Hang 'em up high at sundown. Leave 'em swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town.
Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill. But if you do, bitch, we'll hang you in a fucking field. We don't judge by
What are we
skin,
watching?
we judge by soul. So God can judge your sin, but bitch, you gotta go. Austin Metcalf lost his
Hello?
Hello.
Oh my god, what's up, Grass? Holy fuck! Holy fuck, you scared the shit out of me.
I
What's
get that a
up?
lot.
Yeah, hate
What's up?
music is unfortunately a real thing. Currently we're watching a Forgiato Blow MAGA rap music video about lynching.
Oh.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
definitely
Wow.
joined in at an odd time.
Wow.
and
That's
then we're going over apparently Tylenol causing autism. It's
Oh
it's a-
yeah. Oh yeah, I've heard all about that.
yeah, so you know the number one cause of autism being Tylenol.
Tylenol, right?
This is great. This is great. I love today.
life at a track meet. The news won't say it, so I say it on a trap beat. And while they running from accountability, Lake and Riley was murdered while she was running in the streets. Who would have thought the girl who left the danger in Ukraine would get her life taken riding on a train by a nigga when she's repping Black Lives Matter?
What? By a who?
Just dropped the N-word!
By a who? No way.
Oh my! Oh yeah, you are on a stream, by the way. Just a heads up. I completely forgot to
No
say
way.
that, Grass, but you are on stream with us.
Oh. All right.
Yeah,
No
I
problem.
just- I just
No
figured I should let
way.
you know. Just
Okay.
that way, you know you're being like recorded.
Okay.
But yeah, no. That was an insane bar. I thought the
Just
rapper was a
dropped
black
the
man when I
N-word.
first heard it, even his dogs are white. Yeah, no, neither one of these people are black. I'll tell you that much.
I can tell you that for free.
I think he's Cuban, like part Cuban. I'm not sure though.
But you triggered by
This
this
doesn't
song.
make it any
We set
better.
a big tall tree and a short piece of rope. Hang 'em up high at sundown. Leave 'em swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town. A big tall tree and a short piece of rope. Hang 'em up high at sundown. Leave 'em swinging
This,
so
like,
the
this is
folks all
actually
know
something that I got made, produced, and then published. Like, this is insane to me.
Bro, these guys make Tom McDonald look like a talented musician.
Like, Tom McDonald looked like a caring person.
Tom McDonald looks like a leftist in comparison.
Just play this one straight after this.
Oh, there's too much crime in the streets these days. Too much evil going down. If they get 'em up out of the bricks for a while, the judge turns 'em loose on the town. How many mothers gotta cry? How many children gotta die before we put an end to all this mess? We ought to do it like they did it way back in the day, 'cause granddaddy's way it works best. Who's gonna ride?
Did
Hold
you
up.
just say granddaddy's way works best?
Bro, is he implying that his granddaddy was a fucking Klan member or some shit?
That's what I'm saying. Because if you're Cuban, can we be serious, man?
What?
Can we be serious?
Also,
Cuban man saying,
also, yo, like Dish, one thing that I gotta say, right? The Kanye song, right? Like, as awful as it is, it at least, like, has something, like, worth listening to with, like, the beat and shit. Oh,
If even
I
that,
have the word daddy on a mute thing, so it will pause stuff with certain words on my thing.
why do you have the word daddy muted?
Just to prevent like people from saying weird shit or ERPing or whatever.
Vengeance is the Lord's, but brother, justice ain't a sin. a short piece of rope. Hang 'em up high and sundown. Leave 'em swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around
You're a
in
boy, I can't
our
keep
town. A big tall tree and a short piece of rope. Hang 'em up high and sundown. Leave 'em swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town.
That's insane.
That's totally the worst thing I think I've ever heard.
All right, so Kenny, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate that song?
That's negative everything, bro. I'd rather have a full playlist of Tom McDonald, bro. I'd rather listen to It's Okay to Be White.
I'm a we can bypass with Papa. I'm a fan of ropes in a different way. Bad mod. Ha 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 ha. Okay. My chat is already unhinged, and there's only 2 people in it. All right, let's go ahead and start the important autism announcement, gang. El Papi Trump has a announcement about the tits.
Wow, I love this.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much. So I've been waiting for this meeting for 20 years, actually. And it's not that everything's 100% understood or known, but I think we've made a lot of strides.
You've investigated for 6 months, found exactly what you wanted to find, and you're now going to share those findings here, despite the fact every major medical organization has already come out and said this is bullshit.
Yeah.
This is going to be a fun hour. Also, Kenny, we've got 2 of the least scientific people next to him. Dr. fucking Oz.
Yeah, and RFK Jr., who has no qualifications to anything regarding anything medical. The 2, like, this trio is the 3, like, least qualified people on the planet to talk
Help
about
me,
anything
Papa
medical.
Trump. My partner is autistic. Your mom liked Tylenol too much too. Yeah, no, not only that, but I'm also vaccinated. It's a double whammy.
Oh, see. You're basically screwed, bro. That's it.
Wish it was done a long time ago. Today, we're delighted to be joined by America's top medical and public health professionals as we announce historic steps to confront the crisis of autism. Horrible, horrible crisis.
Those damn autistics, they're coming over our border.
Not a single medical professional in that room.
You've heard of ICE, we're introducing TRAIN. A new agency for deporting people with autism, as well as Lithuanians. I got all the autism shots.
I want to thank the man who brought this issue to the forefront of American politics along with me.
Symptoms.
And we actually met in my office, is it like 20 years ago, Bobby? It's probably 20 years ago in New York. I was a developer, as you probably heard, and I always had very strong feelings about autism and how it happened and where it came from. And he and I don't know, the word got out, and I wouldn't say that people were very understanding of where we were, but it's turning out that we understood a lot more than a lot of people who studied it, we think. And I say we think because I don't think they were really letting the public know what they knew. Thanks as well to the director of
But
the
what would be the
National
motive behind letting people get more autism? That makes no sense.
Hold the fuck up. Yo, Kenny, you heard that, right? The, like, we think, right?
Yes, we think.
So you're telling me these guys hope that they have correctly diagnosed autism and how it
it's all
starts.
speculative.
It's a
There's
speculation, but they're gonna enforce like new laws and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is insane. This is already a really shitty start, too.
Yeah.
Oh god, this is an
I want to
hour.
see. I want to see what
Oh.
kind of explanation they have for why they think this way.
Also, Yo-Yo Taj, welcome, welcome.
No,
Institute of
Tosh.
Health, Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, FDA Commissioner Dr. Marty McCary. These are great people. Administrator of the Centers for Medicine and Medicaid Services, Dr. Mehmet Oz, and Acting Assistant Secretary of HHS, Dr. Dorothy Fink. So thank you all. Thank you, Dorothy, very much. The meteoric rise in autism is among the most alarming public health developments in history. There's never been anything
No,
like this.
it's definitely
Just a few
worse
decades
public
ago,
health
1 in
developments that
10,000
have taken
children had
place.
autism. So that's not a long time. And I've always heard, you know, they say a few, but I think it's a lot less time than that.
Okay, so if I'm remembering correctly, autism used to be diagnosed in the same disorder as schizophrenia, right?
Mm-mm.
Hold up. Let's go over the history of autism real quick. Autism.
I want to say they're like they used to think that autism and schizophrenia were related, not that they were the same thing. Childhood schizophrenia is autism.
Okay, so autism classification evolved from Hiller's 1911 coining of the term for schizophrenia to Kaner's 1943 infantile autism, leading to the DSM-3's 1980 official separation from schizophrenia.
Oh goodness.
During the creation of the DSM-5 in 2013, autism unified previous categories. Toad, your parents should hear this part because they're retarded on this.
Oh
Uh,
goodness.
such as Asperger's syndrome under the current autism spectrum disorder umbrella. Boom. Yeah, so 1911, autism was a symptom of schizophrenia. In the 40s, it was turned into a separate category for infantile autism, and added to the DSM-3 in 1980 before being expanded upon in 87, which refined the diagnosis criteria, focusing on social interaction, communication, and restricted/repetitive behaviors. There was a separate diagnosis added in 1994 called Asperger's, and then in the DSM-5, which is what we currently use. I don't think there's a DSM-6 yet, is there?
No.
But yeah, so the DSM-5 classification put a bunch of separate diagnoses such as Asperger's, because they have the tenants, into a singular disorder, which they've renamed autism spectrum disorder. Boom. Okay. So we're going to get back to the press conference. My apologies. That was a bit of an autistic bit of research.
It used to be 1 in
Little
20,000.
Joke's on you. I have
Then
both.
1 in 10,000.
That's
And I would say that's
COVID
probably
did, but
18
okay,
years
I
ago.
agree.
And now
what I'm
it's
saying. There's definitely
1
a
in 31,
much bigger public health
but
issues that
in
need to
some
be
areas it's
confronted
much
than
worse than
autism.
that, if you can believe it. 1 in 31. And I gave numbers yesterday. For boys, it's 1 in 12.
1 in 31. Hold up. Let's look up some other things. Kenny, what's a common medical thing that's like life-threatening or life-altering that a lot of people can get? Like, what percentage of adults in America get Heart attacks.
Heart disease is one of the most common deaths in America. Heart disease, heart attacks.
Heart disease. Okay, we'll look up heart disease. 48%?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
I'm telling you.
So you're telling me that that is less of a priority for you than autism?
Heart disease, cancer, and heart disease and cancer are the two most death-causing diseases or illnesses in the entirety of the United States. More like there's no other way to phrase it. More people can and will die of cancer than people that have autism.
I agree, yeah.
I was told that's in
There's no
California
like
with
yeah,
There's no
there's
like
no nuance there.
there's no
There's
nuance,
no
it's just
nuance.
facts.
It's just fact.
they have for some reason, a more severe problem.
Also, why does Trump speak so slowly now?
It seems like he's struggling to really talk quick. I don't know. His
Whether it's 1
breath.
in 12 or 1 in 31, can you imagine? That's down from 1 in 20,000 and 1 in 10,000. And now we're at the level of 1 in 12 in some cases for boys, 1 in 31 overall. So since 2000, autism rates have surged by much more than 400%. Instead of attacking those who ask questions, everyone should be grateful for those who are trying to get the answers to this complex situation. And the first day all of these great doctors behind me were there, I told them this is what we have to find out. Because when you go from 20,000 to 10,000 and then you go to 12, you know there's something artificial. They're taking something. And by the way, I think I can say that there are certain groups of people that don't take vaccines and don't take any pills that have no autism. That have no autism.
I wouldn't say that's
Does that
true.
tell you something?
Okay, so Kenny, I have a question. So I'm not in the medical field, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So autism is provably genetic, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
there's a
would say I
proven
think
genetic component. What?
yes.
What's his argument here? That it increases the likelihood that that genetic component becomes activated, or is he claiming that like the medicines themselves are so dangerous that they cause autism?
I
Like,
think
what do you think
he's
his claim is?
claiming that the medicines are causing autism. But if you think about it logically for 1 second, the population of people in general has increased so much since like 2 decades ago, 3 decades ago. Obviously, there's going to be more people with autism because there's more people, and everybody's living longer than they used to 3 decades ago due to the advancements in modern medicine. So obviously, there's going to be more of everything because there's more people. That's literally the only thing. More people are having sex, more people are reproducing. So there's inevitably going to be more kids with autism. There's going to be more kids with Down syndrome because more people are reproducing. Right? It's inevitable because it's something that's genetic that's passed down. As people are having kids and passing down through generations, more people are going to have these mutations that cause that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so we're in agreement that this is like complete bullshit then. All right,
Yes.
good.
That's currently, is that a correct statement, by the way?
There are some studies that suggest that, yeah, with the Amish, for example.
The Amish, yeah, virtually. I heard none. See, Bobby wants to be very careful with what he says, and he should, but I'm not so careful with what I say. But you have certain groups, the Amish as an example, they have essentially no autism.
Let's fact
That's
check
not
this
true.
shit.
That is not true.
Rates of
I think
autism
what
in the Amish community.
I think what he might be confusing is that Amish people may have lower standards for what is considered to be diagnosed as autism. So if there's people with autism that aren't getting diagnosed as autism, obviously on paper it's going to show up that nobody has autism, which even that isn't true. There are
Okay.
Amish people with
Yeah,
reported and diagnosed
this is
autism.
this is like a complete falsehood. So, a 2010 study screened nearly 19,000 Amish children in Ohio and Indiana and found that autism spectrum disorder has a prevalency rate of approximately 1 in 1 in 271. So for every 271 kids there's a case of autism. It's significantly lower than the national average. which is estimated at between 1 in 51 or 1 in 166 or 1 in 68. The data is somewhat unclear on that part of like the actual rate of autism.
Mhm.
From what I'm seeing as well, the closed gene pool might also
Yeah.
play a factor in it, because there's only one specific mutation linked to autism in the Amish community,
Mm.
rather than like the 10 or 12 that are out there for other people.
So that's
First,
just wrong,
effective
right?
immediately, the FDA
Completely wrong.
will be notifying physicians that the use of well, let's see how we say that. Acetaminophen.
Acetaminophen. Acetaminophen. That's what he's trying to say. That's Tylenol.
I thought it was
Acetaminophen.
acetaminophen.
Maybe I'm saying it with a Spanish accent, acetaminophen, but that's how I
Acetaminophen.
always
Oh
do.
yeah, aceto. Yeah, that
Acetaminophen.
sounds Spanish.
Acetaminophen.
I think it's acetaminophen or something.
Really?
Yeah, that's
Well,
what I've
we're
heard it
all saying the
pronounced.
same thing.
Do the Amish
But
believe in mental disorders? I have no clue. You are far closer to Amish people than me, Dish. Can you go ask them? I need you to pull up to an Amish community and be like, "Do you believe in autism?"
autism?
Autism?
Is that okay?
Yo, this is
Which is
completely
basically commonly
unrelated.
known as Tylenol.
Go ahead.
But in the past 2 weeks, I've gone outside, right? Twice. I've had a Jewish man walk up to me and ask me if I was Jewish, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, on two separate occasions.
It
To
is
just
weird.
walk up to me and ask me if I was Jewish. It's like, no, and then
Oh
I went about my
God.
day. What?
Okay, so one of the drugs that I found one of the drugs that Trump is saying will be a cure for autism, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Hold up. L O
Luvoricin or
Luvu.
Lucivorin.
Uh, last I
Yeah,
checked, it's anything remotely modern. So how are you gonna test a group stuff not to be real? I mean, they're still citizens. They can be forced to participate in something like a census or an evaluation involuntarily. I assume that's probably how the data would have been gotten. So this is the
I thought this was for chemotherapy.
Yo, Dish.
Lucivoricin.
Are you familiar with this shit?
I thought this was used as to
Yeah,
help with
chemotherapy drug. Yeah,
chemotherapy.
it's
What
a
does this have to do with
prescription
autism?
medication that functions as an antidote for folic acid antigens
Yeah,
such
folic
as
acid,
methotrexate. Methotroxate? Something like
something like
that?
that. Yeah, close enough.
Okay, so they're saying that this would be the cure for autism?
Let's see their their explanation.
During pregnancy can be associated with a very increased risk of autism. So taking Tylenol
I have no clue.
is not good. All right, I'll say it. It's not good. For this reason, they are strongly recommending that women limit Tylenol use during pregnancy unless medically necessary. That's, for instance, in cases of extremely high fever that you feel you can't tough it out, you can't do it. I guess there's that. It's a
They're
small
treating it with a
number of cases, I
cancer
think.
drug.
But if
Yeah,
you can't tough it
with
out,
a
if you can't
drug
do
to
it,
counteract chemo.
that's what you're going to have to do. You'll take a Tylenol, but it'll be very sparingly. It can be something that's very dangerous to the woman's health. In other words, a fever that's very, very dangerous, and ideally a doctor's decision, because I think you shouldn't take it, and you shouldn't take it during the entire pregnancy. They may tell you that toward the end of the pregnancy you shouldn't take it during the entire, and you shouldn't give the child a Tylenol every time he's born and he goes and has a shot. You shouldn't give a Tylenol to that child. all pregnant women should talk to their doctors for more information about limiting the use of this medication while pregnant. So ideally, you don't take it at all. But if you can't tough it out, if there's a problem, you're going to end up doing it. The other thing that
I
I can
need
tell
a
you that
source.
I'll say that they will.
That's the only thing I need. If you provide
But I
me,
think when you go for the
Yeah, I need data
look,
on this.
listen. You can take any widely accepted subject in any field of medicine and you'll find a plethora of peer-reviewed academic sources. If I ask you for a link between research and autism and you give me one source or two sources, that doesn't prove anything. The only thing that proves that an experiment is valid is if it's been tested and retested and retested and
They
the
never
same
cared about
result has been
themselves.
achieved.
It's all ironic. Don't take stuff for yourself. Your kid may come out quirky. That's literally what he's saying. Yeah. I agree with you, Kenny. Like the thing when it comes to this is really like, yo, if you have the data on this, right? Like I'm willing to have my mind changed, right? The big issue is you've got to prove that there is a direct causation, not just a correlation, but a direct causation between consumption of Tylenol and autism. And also, like, how long has acetaminophen been a thing for?
A long time. Mhm.
Here, let's quickly. When was acetaminophen thank you. 1878. 1878 is when it was created.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't we see extremely high autism rates in the 30s and 40s when vaccines and inoculations became like common practice?
Let's just play the damn press conference,
You
bro.
both arguing against this proves exactly why we need more people with autism, LOL. Exactly.
What?
shot, you do it over a 5-time period.
Why did I just
Take it over
get
5
grouped
times
in
or
with
4
you? I
times.
don't have autism.
Kenny's supposedly Norse/Mal. I don't believe it.
Supposedly. That was a good one. 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 Oh.
You take it in smaller doses, and you spread it out over a period of years. And they pump so much stuff into those beautiful little babies; it's a disgrace. I don't see it. I think it's very bad. They're pumping. It looks like they're pumping into a horse. You have a little child, little fragile child, and you get a vat of 80 different vaccines, I guess, 80 different blends, and they pump it in.
Your autism,
So
I diagnose
ideally,
you.
a woman won't take Tylenol.
Thank you.
And on the vaccines, it would be good instead of one visit where they pump the baby, load it up with stuff. You'll do it over a period of 4 times or 5 times. I've been so into this issue for so many years just because I couldn't understand how a thing like this could happen. And it's artificially induced. It's not like something that when you go from all of those healthy babies to a point where I don't even know structurally if a country can afford it. And that's the least of the problems. To have families destroyed over this is just so terrible. I also, and we've already done this, we want no mercury in the vaccine. We want no aluminum in the vaccine.
The thing is, he's
The NMR,
acting
I
like
think, should be taken separately
autism
because
is
based on
such a debilitating condition, right? Because people with autism can live normal lives. There's
It's a
no doubt
spectrum.
about that.
It's a big
Yeah.
spectrum. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are people who can't, right? Like my cousin is actually a really good example. My cousin is a nonverbal autistic, can't take care of himself. He can't like interact with his family. He doesn't remember who people are. Like there are cases where it is crushing and debilitating, and I feel for those families. But there are plenty of cases with autism where they're maybe just a little bit nerdier than a normal person, or maybe they're a little more social, or maybe they're a little less social, right? Like it's a pretty big spectrum. So to act like to act like me with autism is the same level of like debilitated as my cousin is it's just insane. They're not the same thing.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I'm gonna become a fucking autism expert now.
I feel mumps, measles, and the three should be taken separately. And it seems to be that when you mix them, there
Wait.
could be a problem. So there's no downside.
What? Hold on.
I feel the mumps, measles, and the three should be taken separately.
What do you take with the mumps and measles? Isn't it polio?
Is it? I haven't studied up on my vaccines in a while.
What
Mumps.
vaccines do you take with mumps and measles?
Yeah, I think it's rubella. I think it's rubella. MMR, right? That's
Rubella.
what the
Yep.
thing is. Yeah, MMR. That's how I remember it.
What is
The acronym.
rubella?
It's a viral infection.
Fever, sore throat, rash, headache. Wait, is this the one that can turn into that Fifth's disease thing?
What? Rubella.
And it seems to be that when you mix them, there could be a problem. So there's no downside in taking them separately. In fact, they think it's better, so let it be separate. The chicken pox is already separate because when that got mixed in, I guess they made it four for a while. It really was bad. So they make chicken pox individually.
They removed chicken pox because of mercury poisoning, I believe. I believe mercury was in the measles as well as the chicken pox vaccine. And it had trouble processing in people's bodies, so they separated them by a few months to limit chances of like mercury poisoning. I believe that's the case from what I'm remembering.
I thought it wasn't removed at all. Isn't that what MMRV is? An upgraded version of what MMR is? Yeah, MMRV is a combination vaccine against measles, mumps, rubella, and varicella. And am I crazy?
Okay, so birth to 6 months. At birth, you take hepatitis B. That's an important one.
Mm-hmm.
At 2 months, you take DTaP, HIB, IPV, PCV, and RV vaccines.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
All right, hold up. We're going to look at the child vaccination schedule by the Cleveland Clinic. So, newborn vaccines, they do hepatitis B and RSV, respiratory
Syncytial.
syncytial virus, an antibody within 1 to 2 weeks of birth. This only happens if your baby is born during RSV season, typically October to March, and you didn't receive the RSV vaccine while pregnant. If it's not yet RSV season, your baby can wait until just before the season to start this immunization. Okay. Month 2, HEPB, hepatitis B, dose 2. Rotavirus, dose 1. Diphtheria, tetanus, and acellular What the fuck is that?
Which one? Acellular? Pertussis?
Pertuitus?
Pertussis? Acellular.
DTaP, dose 1. Haemophilus influenza type B, dose 1.
Mm.
Pneumatical conjugate, dose 1.
It's like pneumonia, where the PNEU sound, it kind of blends together.
Oh, yeah.
Pneumococcal.
Pneumatical conjugate. Polio. Okay, so polio is at 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
You then get rotavirus. Okay, yeah, these are literally just like updates to the ones up here in month 2.
Yeah.
Month 6. And then at a year when most infants' brains are starting to function,
Yeah.
you would then get measles, mumps, rubella, hepatitis A dose 1, and PCV dose 4. Okay. You know, I gotta say this, right? Like, reading through
Mm-hmm.
this, This is spreading it out like a decent amount. Like these are pretty spread out.
Yeah.
2 months in between.
So
And
look, this is what he was talking about. So MMR, measles, mumps, and rubella is 12 months, and then varicella, which is chickenpox, is 15 months, 3 months apart.
varicella.
Varicella is chickenpox. So what he's saying about measles, mumps, and rubella being separated,
Hmm.
is he arguing because there's too much mercury?
I think, well, that's RFK's argument and always has been, is that it's mercury poisoning. I will say this actually, in the case of my cousin, like I've seen this, so like there is proof for it. He has like almost a lethal dose of mercury in his blood that still exists, like despite the fact he's
Mm.
the same age as me.
Hmm.
He's like 2 days older, I think, something like that.
There, okay, when you mix them, something maybe happens. So there's no downside in doing it. It's not like, oh, if you do it, bad things. No, it's only good side. And it may not have that much of an impact, but it may have a big impact. So let those be taken separately. And then hepatitis B is sexually transmitted. There's no reason to give a baby that's almost just born hepatitis B. So I would say wait till the baby is 12 years old.
Hold up. Isn't hepatitis able to be passed genetically?
Yes,
That's the
that's the
reason
whole
it's
point.
given, right?
Yeah, to prevent mother-to-child transmission.
Okay, so you want babies to have hepatitis.
Yeah, so vaccination at birth gives immediate protection against the infection. That's kind of the whole point, right?
Huh.
Informed and take hepatitis B.
Could you
And I think
imagine
if you do,
being born with Hep B? That's like getting nerfed from the start of your life. Because your mom had it? Come on.
Also, like, here's the other thing you've got to consider, right? Like, who's to say those diseases don't make autism worse if you're exposed to them?
It'll make your life worse. And the quality of living with. Bro. Oh my goodness.
This is terrible. This is terrible.
those things, it's going to be a whole different, it's going to be a revolution in a positive sense in the country. The FDA will be updating the label of an existing drug to reflect potential benefits in reducing some autism symptoms. This gives hope to the many parents with autistic children that it may be possible to improve their lives. That's one of the things that I'm very, very happy about. I mean, this was mostly going to be on how not to have the child affected, but we've learned some pretty good things about certain elements of genius that can be given to a baby, and the baby can get better, and in some cases maybe substantially better. Not going to be easy, but be a lot easier if it didn't happen in the first place, as these great parents fully understand, right? They fully understand. I feel so terribly for. I have so many friends with autistic children. It's a tough situation. Finally, to help reach the ultimate goal of ending the autism fever, the NIH will be announcing 13 major grant awards from the Autism
fucking what?
Data Science. Fully understand, right? They fully understand. I
What
feel
did you say?
terribly for. I have so many friends with autistic children. It's a tough situation. Finally, to help reach the ultimate goal of ending the autism fever, the NIH will be announcing.
Autism fever.
The autism fever.
I'm not liking some of this language that he's using. Autism fever doesn't sound very good.
What could he possibly mean by that?
I have no clue.
I've
Take
heard
major grant awards
autism
from-
fever used in a different context, but I'm not sure that's what he means. Like autism fever, that people with autism have like a reduction in their autism related symptoms while having a fever, but that I haven't read too much articles on that.
Wait,
but
so hold up. Then what is this cure? Is it that this medicine causes like a fever?
I have no idea. Let's see.
Hold
He
up.
said something about the NIA.
from the Autism Data Science Initiatives. And to be honest with you, to me, that's the least important. It's not even a money thing at this point. There's so much money, but they have to do, and they have to move quickly. When the alternative is that nothing bad can happen, let's do it now. I was just saying to Bobby in the group, let's do it now. Nothing bad can happen. It can only good happen. But with Tylenol, don't take it.
It
Don't
can
take
only good
And if
happen.
you can't live,
Is
if your
that-
fever is so bad, you have to take
is
one. because
that-
There's no alternative to that. Sadly, first question, what can you take
It
instead?
sounds
It's
like he's really struggling with his autism.
It can only good happen. Is that the level of English speaking capability that we want from our president? it can only good happen.
I want my president to know 3 words in his entire vocabulary.
Actually, there's not an alternative to that. And as you know, other of the medicines are absolutely proven bad. I mean, they've been proven bad with the aspirins and the Advils and others, right? And they've been proven bad. So I'd like to ask Bobby to get up to the podium and say a few words, and then Dr. Bhattacharya and Dr. McCary, Dr. Oz, Dr. Fink, followed by 2 incredible mothers that have experienced firsthand what this country is going through, what parts of the world are going through. And I will say there are parts of the world that don't take Tylenol. I mean, there's a rumor, and I don't know if it's so or not, that Cuba, they don't have Tylenol because they don't have the money for Tylenol, and they have virtually no autism, okay? Tell me about that one. And there are other parts of the world where they don't have Tylenol, where they don't have autism. That tells you a lot, and I want to say it right now. And you know the way I look at it, don't take it. Don't take it. There's no downside.
What is he
taking it.
talking about?
So I'd like to
There
ask
are
Bobby to come
people
up
with
and say a few words.
autism
I
in
don't know what
Cuba.
to say, but that's
There
what I've been
are.
very strong on the subject for a long time. You know, life is common sense too.
Also,
And
I'm
there's a lot of
pretty
common
sure
sense in this.
Cuba
And I
has
wish things like this were
Tylenol.
brought up. And this group has worked so hard on it. But I'd like to be a little bit more, a little speedier in the process of a recommendation.
It may
Because there's
be
no harm in going
generic,
quicker.
but
There's absolutely
I'm
no harm.
pretty
At
sure they
worst,
have the
there's no harm.
same
Thank you very much,
medicine.
Bobby, please.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Oh my God.
To meet the President's challenge, I ordered HHS to launch an unprecedented all-agency effort to identify all causes of autism, including toxic and pharmaceutical exposures. At President Trump's urging, NIH, FDA, CDC, and CMS are turning over every stone to identify the etiology of the autism epidemic and how patients and parents can
The what?
The autist
No.
epidemic.
The ideology of the autism epidemic. Whole lot of fucking yap right there. What?
The ideology of the autism epidemic.
Do you think the autism epidemic is a liberal ideology, Kenny?
Well, clearly they seem to think it's something along those lines.
Those weak liberal sissies and their Tylenol.
prevent and reverse this alarming trend. We have broken down the traditional silos that have long separated these agencies, and we have fast-tracked research and guidance. Historically, NIH has focused almost solely on politically safe and entirely fruitless research about the genetic drivers of autism. And that would be like studying the genetic drivers of lung cancer without looking at cigarettes. And that's what NIH has been doing for 20 years. As a result, we don't have an answer to this critical question.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know. Is that a decent analogy, or
What is he even arguing? Looking at the causes of lung cancer without looking at cigarettes when talking about the causes of autism? Looking at Tylenol? I mean, I don't know if a lot of studies have been done on the idea that certain medicines can cause higher rates of autism in children, but I wouldn't say that if those studies haven't been done, it was on purpose that they were avoiding it. Maybe it's just a link that people haven't tried to connect yet, you know?
I mean, you could also argue that maybe the genetic component would be more important to understanding other components, because, like, why does autism affect these people so heavily but not these people? Why is there this, like, discongruency within autism? Like, why am I autistic but also the same people who, like, can't function, like, outside of it? Like, why are they in the same category? How did like autism progress significantly further with one group than another? Like, I understand asking those questions, but, like, I think to be like, they're hiding the medical implications, like, no, it's very likely the medical aspect is, like, secondary to the genetic aspect. That's how I view
Yeah.
it, at least.
Yeah.
Despite the cataclysmic impact of the epidemic on our nation's children, we are now replacing the institutional culture of politicized science and corruption with evidence-based medicine. NIH research teams are currently testing multiple hypotheses with no area off limits. We promise transparency as we uncover the potential causes and treatments, and we will notify the public regularly of our progress. Today, we are announcing 2 important findings from our autism work that are vital for parents to know as they make these decisions. First, HHS will act on acetaminophen. The FDA is responding to clinical and laboratory studies that suggest a potential association between acetaminophen use during pregnancy and adverse neurodevelopmental outcomes.
Where are
later
these
diagnosis
studies,
for
though?
ADHD and autism. Scientists have proposed biological
I want to know
mechanisms
where
linking
these studies are, the people who conducted them, where they were conducted, and if if the same study under the same conditions has been reproduced and the same results were received. That's how you test the validity of any subject, anything, right? Because no
Here we
matter how
go.
many times, look, watch. NIH launches $50 million autism Okay, but this doesn't.
Hold up. Autism. This is absolutely one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. So acetaminophen, altered brain development. Okay, here we go, Kenny. Here's one
Mhm.
study.
Acetaminophen used during pregnancy and children's risk of autism, ADHD, and this is one study that looks at the link, but let's see if it says that. Results in total, 185,909 children were exposed to acetaminophen during pregnancy. Crude absolute risks at 10 years of age for those not exposed versus those exposed to acetaminophen were 1.33 versus 1.53% in autism. 2.46 versus 2.87% for ADHD, and 0.70 versus 0.82% for intellectual disability. Do you see how close these two are?
These numbers are almost completely negligible.
Mm. In models without sibling control, every use versus no use of acetaminophen during pregnancy was associated with marginally increased risk of autism. And that's
Like these are roughly on average mostly like 10 to 20 point 0.20 differences. Like these are next to
okay.
nothing data wise. No, this is
Now,
definitely one of the dumbest things I've heard.
in order to solidify these findings, the same study needs to be reproduced, and if it's the same results, the same numbers, that'll prove the link between these two. But if you study it once, there's nothing to say that it isn't by chance that these numbers were the way they are. You need to do it again to prove it. You need to
Is
do it
HR
again.
harm rate?
HR, where do you should be labeled somewhere here. Several studies suggest that acetaminophen using pregnancy. It says several studies, but I don't see
Wait,
any
hold
other
up.
studies. Wait, go up, go up.
Wait, hold up. There's a conflict of interest statement. Dr. Johansson reported being the founder of Neobomics AB, a startup company located at the Kolinsky campus that works with niche food supplement solutions
All
for
right, you
infants.
see?
Dr. Gardner reported receiving grants from the Swedish Research Council during the conduct of the study, and Dr. Lee reported receiving personal fees from
All
Beasley
right.
Law
So,
Firm, Patterson Belknap, Webb and Tyler LLP, and Alpha Sites, and grants from the National Institute of Health during the conduct of the studies and grants from the National Institute of Health, Pennsylvania Department of Human Services, U.S. Department of Defense, and Pennsylvania Department of Health Cure, SAP. Outside of the submitted work, no other disclosures were reported.
all right, so go up. So that's 3 doctors that received, or well, that they have a conflict of interest. 3 out of the team of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, you see where it says PMID?
Mm-hmm.
Click on the other blue one, because
This
that's
one?
another source. Yeah. Acetaminophen. Oh, this is just the actual. Okay. In this population-based, oh, go where it says findings. In this population-based study, model right here is
Conclusions,
fine.
right?
All right.
Acetaminophen use
Acetaminophen.
was not associated with child's risk of autism, ADHD.
Exactly.
Boom! Boom! One
Exactly.
of these studies they are using completely disproven. Boom.
Come on. Just takes a little bit of reading.
All right, hold up. We're gonna quickly pull up more of this They're funding a lot of autism research right now. Conclusions. Let's look at the results real quick. Yeah, no, this looks complete bullshit. Yeah, no, literally all that this study says is there isn't really a link, that there's a slight correlation in higher rates, but I mean, as everyone knows, correlation doesn't equal causation. All right, let's go back to Orange Man and Guy Who Can't Talk then.
Acetaminophen exposure to altered brain development. We have also evaluated the contrary studies that show no association.
Yeah, that's the
Today,
new
the
theory.
FDA will issue a
Phantom.
physician's notice about the risk of acetaminophen during pregnancy and begin the process to initiate a safety label change. HHS will launch a nationwide public service campaign to inform families and protect public health. FDA also recognized that acetaminophen is often the only tool for fevers and pain in pregnancy, as other alternatives have well-documented adverse effects. HHS wants, therefore, to encourage clinicians to exercise their best judgment in the use of acetaminophen for fevers and pain in pregnancy by prescribing the lowest effective dose for the shortest necessary duration and only when treatment is required. Furthermore, thanks also to the politicization of science, the safety of acetaminophen against the risk of neurodevelopmental disorders in young children has never been validated. Prudent medicine, therefore, suggests caution.
I have a theory that RFK has like a vibrating butt plug. That's why he talks like this. Now, is my theory correct? Probably not, but it's a lot funnier of a headcanon than reality.
And acetaminophen use by young children, especially since strong evidence also has associated it with liver toxicity. Some studies have also found the use of acetaminophen in children can potentially prolong viral illnesses.
Hold up. Gotta fact check this shit too. I'm just gonna fucking voice search this. Can acetaminophen increase fevers in children? Can acetaminophen? Ah, fucking hell. Okay. Acetaminophen does not increase fevers. It is a fever reducer. It helps the child body eliminate itself, may come back as the medicine wears off. Is his claim fevers, or did I just...
And only when treatment is required. Furthermore, thanks also to the politicization of science.
Yeah, no more headaches, gang.
Against the risk of neurodevelopmental disorders in young children has never been validated. Prudent medicine, therefore, suggests caution in acetaminophen use by young children, especially since strong evidence also has associated it with liver toxicity. Some studies have also...
That I know is somewhat true, but I think that's also the case for, like, Advil, if I'm not mistaken. Kenny, I might need you here if you're available. Do you know the data points on specifically like liver toxicity's connection to acetaminophen? God, no, dude, I can't stand RFK's voice. I know it's not his fault his voice sounds like this. I think something with like throat cancer or some shit is the reason he sounds like this. But like, brother, like it is so annoying to listen to. Well, you see here, I believe that autism. Oh, my fucking throat hurts now. That fucking killed me. Ugh. Fuck, I'm gonna actually be talking like RFK now. God damn. Oh.
Found the use of acetaminophen in children can potentially prolong viral illnesses. FDA will drive new research to safeguard mothers, children, and families. In addition to a possible acetaminophen connection to autism for pregnant women, infants, and toddlers, our research has revealed that folate deficiency in a child's brain can lead to autism. We have also identified an...
Okay, so now we've got a... Is there a link between low folic acid in the brain and autism? So they're putting, so for context, because Pink Phantom wasn't here, Dish, you were here for this. They're proposing that people use this drug. I'm not even gonna fucking say this. It's a chemotherapy treatment, right? It's meant to help your brain recover while taking chemotherapy. They're claiming that this drug will help cure autism. Causes of cerebral deficiency. Oh. I don't know. I'm not seeing anything in here that is like, without a
Oh my
doubt.
god, I've been muted this whole time. Jesus.
Oh my
I'm
god.
saying I
Okay.
was saying that I don't see how cerebral folate deficiency can cause autism if cerebral folate deficiency is caused by an already existing autoimmune response. Because then that's just a chain of events that happened. If it's already taking place and it can't be the cause of it, it's just a side effect of something else.
I mean, I guess it could be argued that it's like the aftermath or a byproduct, but none of these studies seem to have like any kind of fucking data. Yeah, no, I always
Validity.
self-yap. Although that was Kenny that was self-yapping that time.
exciting
It's
therapy that may
muted.
benefit large numbers of children who suffer from autism. Peer-reviewed literature has documented that up to 60% of folate-deficient children with ASD can have improved verbal communications if given leucovorin.
That sounds incredible.
I want to see these studies though.
So I looked up like I looked up one of his things that he was saying of like it increasing fevers. And literally the National Institute of Health says it doesn't increase fevers, but fevers will return once the medicine wears off. He's made so many like just out there claims that aren't true already. It's kind of
Because a lot of
insane.
people won't go out of their way to fact check. They just take it at face value and move on with their lives. Anyway, let's see.
FDA and CMS help
We have more integrity than Fox News, that's all I'm saying.
doctors treat children appropriately. Jay will help tell that story.
I've
Let's start
seen
with sound
more
science
spawn in a
behind discourse,
jellyfish than Fox
faith, and
News.
government. This announcement also represents a historic collaboration between NIH, FDA, CDC, and CMS. We expect this to be the first of many announcements over the coming years.
Can you do me a favor and
actionable
turn on
information to parents
subtitles?
on
Yeah.
underlying cause of autism and the potential paths for prevention and reversal. Finally, autism is a
Reversal.
complex disorder with
Reversal.
multifactorial etiology.
Reversal.
We are continuing to investigate a multiplicity of potential causes with no areas of taboo. One area that we're closely examining.
Are we gonna blow past that? He just said autism reversal.
Hold up, he
Are
did?
we?
Or a
You said
collaboration between
reversal.
NIH, FDA, CDC, and CMS. We expect this to be the first of many announcements over the coming years that deliver actionable information to parents on underlying cause of autism and the potential paths for prevention and reversal.
Oh my
Reversal.
god.
Reversal. We think
Nah.
that taking leucovorin is gonna be reversing autism. So they're saying that
Dude.
this is the cure for autism is folate.
Folic acid, yeah, that's what they're
This-
claiming. Oh lord. Oh lord.
Yeah. Just take vitamin B pills, man, and your autism's gonna go away. Because that's what folic acid is. It's vitamin B.
Okay, so you're telling me if I take vitamin B, I will no longer become an expert on anything because of my hyperfixations? I'm good.
Yes.
If anything, I'm ripping all the vitamin B out of my system. Then I'll become a super genius.
Autism is a complex disorder with multifactorial etiology. We are continuing to investigate
With
a multiplicity.
multifactorial ideology. What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, the ideology of autism, right? It's all
We
in your
are
brain.
autism. We
Like, well,
are
literally.
one. Like, brother, what?
We are Charlie Kirk.
Guys, I'd like a Charlie Kirk drink with a single shot.
Potential causes with no areas of taboo. One area that we are closely examining, as the president mentioned, is vaccines. Some 40 to 70% of mothers who have children with autism believe that their child was injured by a vaccine. President Trump believes that we should be listening to these mothers instead of gaslighting and marginalizing them like prior
Correlation does not
administrations.
equal
Some
causation,
are
bro.
friends
You
like to
have
say that we
vaccines
should
as
believe all
well,
women.
and
Some of these
you
same
have
people have
autism. Just because you have vaccines and you have autism doesn't mean that those two are related or that one caused the other. I have vaccines. I don't have autism.
NHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And I've got to tell you,
All right,
you're
I
just
think you're gonna
wrong.
yeah, you're gonna regret that, bro.
Dude, I
It's like
already do.
when you fake a lisp for too long and then you actually develop a real lisp. That's what's gonna happen, bro. You're gonna be stuck like that.
Yeah, one day I'm just gonna come in. I'll be like, Kenny, who are you running in Apex? I think it's time for you to go back to Mirage.
Oh goodness
Bro, my
gracious!
RFK Jr. impression is crazy.
It's not. It's really not that bad.
Nah, it's definitely not my worst impression.
silencing and
Can you do a
demonizing
Trump
these
impression?
mothers for 3 decades.
I can do some of the way he says words, like the huge, but I can't do the fucking accent he has.
Million,
And his
billion,
accent is super important.
million, billion,
If I had a New
billion.
York accent, I could do it.
I can't do it at all.
You don't have a New York accent, though. Like, no offense, but if you were to pull up and be like, hello, my name is Kenny, and I'm from Kansas, I wouldn't be shocked.
But I just don't talk like that. Like I'm sure there's some words where you can hear it for sure. There's slips
Because
through.
research on the potential link between autism and vaccines has been actively suppressed in the past. It will take time for an honest look at this topic by scientists. But I want to
You
reassure
think
the people in the
research for autism
community.
vaccines has been suppressed?
Yeah,
What?
you know he's the guy who funded, like, all the big anti-vax groups, right?
My goodness.
Have you never done, like, a deep dive into, like, RFK's history?
I know he's very hugely anti-vax, and that's about as far as my knowledge. And I know he's completely unqualified for the job. That's how far my knowledge goes on RFK.
Okay, so RFK used to be, like, a relatively okay guy. He was, like, an environmental lawyer. He sued Monsanto, really went at people for hurting the environment. I believe he had a kid who was diagnosed with autism.
That's
And
where it all
he
started.
began funding research into autism and cures and stuff like
Which isn't
that.
bad at all. That's beautiful. I think if your child has something that is actively affecting their life and you want to go out of your way to make that research happen and you have the funds to do so, there's nothing wrong with that at all.
So here's where it gets a little sketchy. So RFK, from what I'm remembering, now, just for context, this is off my memory. I could be kind of wrong here. So take this
Yeah.
part with a grain of salt. From what I remember, the big study from the 2000s, where the scientist who did it later admitted to making up all the data, was one that RFK paid for. And that was
Alright,
one
well,
of the
that's
big
good.
things that people were using to push the anti-vaccine shit during the Obama era. For a little history lesson. I believe
And
that
that's
research was funded by him, and there was someone fucking else. I don't remember her name.
what I'm saying is the underlying issue, because if that same study, that same experiment had been reproduced, anybody who reproduced that experiment would see these results are falsified. This isn't true. But nobody went out of their way to redo the results and redo the experiment under the same stipulations and see if they'd get the same result.
Well, no,
Everybody just took it at face value.
people did, and it was disproven because no one could get even close to the result that he claimed happened.
And
So
yeah,
RFK has been a long-standing nut when it comes to autism and vaccines.
We will be uncompromising and relentless in our search for answers. We will perform the studies that should have been performed 25 years ago. Whatever the answer is, we will tell you what we find. We are researching this issue to all three
that's not
agencies.
true.
Jay will discuss one of our
If they
research
get an
initiatives
answer
at
that proves
NIH.
them wrong,
This
I
model
doubt
of
they'd
being
actually go and
unbiased.
publish it.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen is it's going to be like we're going to have to make up medical data that others will be able to prove false. They're either going to do it or it's going to not be a focus anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Depoliticize gold standard scientific research and academic freedom to deliver actionable information to prevent and reverse disease will be a model for the framework to deliver similar results for many other chronic conditions that plague Americans. Jay?
Thank you, Secretary Kennedy, and thank you, President Trump. Thank you very much. I'm proud to announce today that the NIH has launched the Autism Data Science Initiative to turbo.
Who the fuck is this?
Wait, say his name again. Go back to where he says his name.
Jay.
I'm sure Trump introduced him earlier.
Charge autism research, devoting an additional $50 million to the cause of studying autism. Nearly 250 research teams from across the country applied, sent in their applications, and were peer reviewed by the NIH review panels. The NIH peer reviewers chose the 13 best projects focused on root causes and therapies, with replication and validation studies to guarantee gold standard science. The studies feature a new kind of science called exposomics, where scientists consider environmental and medical factors, nutrition, events during pregnancy, in combination with biology and genetics to answer vital questions about autism. Science like this, conducted in partnership with families and physicians, is the best way to arrest and reverse the autism epidemic. Autism spectrum disorder encompasses a
Their language here is really harmful. Arrest and reverse the autism epidemic. Like that's really dangerous language. Trump literally about to pass out back there. Yeah, no, it looks like he's falling asleep.
very wide range of symptoms, ranging from mild difficulties with social interactions to profoundly autistic children who experience severe disabilities in speech and behavior. Given this wide range of symptoms across the spectrum, it seems certain that there will be a wide range of biological contributors to explaining the cause.
Speaking of speech disability.
Yeah.
The great thing about the new NIH initiative on autism is that scientists will use rigorous
Circle
advanced methods in
RFK's
causal
head.
inference, machine learning, organoids, and other fresh approaches to the problem. The sharp rise in the prevalence of autism deserves an urgent response by the scientific community. As Bobby said, the NIH has invested a lot of money to study autism over the years, but the research has not produced the answers that families and parents of autistic children deserve, and autistic children themselves deserve. For too long,
Has not produced the answer that they're looking for, is what he's saying.
It hasn't produced the answer of, it's not your fault, it's the vaccine. That's the answer that these people want. I mean, if you want to know like what the data says, if you have sex with someone over the age of 45 and they get you pregnant, their sperm is more likely to produce someone with autism. If you want to talk about certain diets, there's links, like dietary links to like the worsening of autism. I mean,
And it's genetic.
yeah, it's genetic.
It's
That is
caused
the
by a
primary
mutation.
component.
It's caused by mutation. There could be nobody for generations and generations in your family that has autism, and then you decide to have a kid, and he has autism. It's genetic. Shit happens. A mutation along some code somewhere in some codon of DNA changed, and now your kid has autism. You can't blame that on you. It's not your fault. You can't blame that on vaccines. It's not the vaccine's fault. You can't blame that on the pills you took during pregnancy. It's not that either. It just happens.
Yeah, it happens, and it's unfortunate when it does, because like there are families who really struggle and are suffering with it. But I'm sorry, the way to make it better isn't by fucking getting rid of healthcare.
it's been taboo to ask some questions for fear the scientific work might reveal a politically incorrect answer. Because of
A
this
pun-
restricted focus in scientific investigations, the answers for families have been similarly restricted, often pointing families to behavioral therapies that don't work for every kid or suggest non-modifiable genetic factors as the cause. But genetics alone can't explain such a sharp rise in autism prevalence
Wait,
over
hold up. What did
just
he
a few
say there?
decades. Or suggest non-modifiable genetic
Behavioral
factors as
therapies
the
that don't
cause.
work for every
Genetic-
kid? Yeah, no
Mhm.
shit. Therapy doesn't work the same way for everyone. My brother in Christ, welcome to the medical industry. Happy to have you fucking learn something.
Genetics alone can't explain such a sharp rise in autism prevalence over just a few decades, as the president said. In coming months and years, as NIH scientists learn more,
And you know
they
what
help
can
autistic
explain a
children and
sharp
their families,
rise in
we won't delay.
autism?
What?
More people, higher population density. There's been a sharp rise in everything.
That's true. I mean, it's not like actually one of my favorite examples for this is like left-handedness. The amount of people who like use their left hand as their dominant writing hand has increased dramatically, right?
Because
It doesn't mean that
yeah,
there's some sort of weird environmental factor that's like making people left-handed. It doesn't mean vaccines make you left-handed. It means that hey, more people are able to be diagnosed. We have more clear criteria. We're going to find these things in more and more people. And I'm sure
because more people are being born. There's more people.
and that's the other thing. Like, I'm sure population-wise, it's not exactly like we've been at the same rate. There's way more babies now than there were in the 40s. So yeah, you're gonna see increases in autism in children because more children are being born. We have more people around. My cat is slow now. What, Mr. Trump? Ish, it seems like you've given your cat too many vaccines and Advils, or not Advils, Tylenol. I encourage you to put chemotherapy drugs into your cat. I'm sure that'll make everything better.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Like scientists often like to do, I can say as a scientist myself, it's really tempting to delay, but but in face of a problem like this, you have to move fast. But we will not delay before telling American people about what we find, and we will win the public trust with transparency and rigor. Already, our broadened focus on autism research has pointed to 2 items that will help families prevent and treat some cases of autism. I'll leave the good news on these 2 items to my close friends and colleagues, Dr. McCary and Dr. Oz. We've been
Prevent
working
and
together
treat
closely on this problem for the
autism.
past 6 months, and our cooperation represents an unprecedented collaboration with Secretary Kennedy's Department of Health and Human Services and with President Trump. I'm delighted to introduce Dr. Marty McCary, Commissioner of the Food and Drug Administration, who will tell you about these announcements of practical help for families with autism.
Great, thank you, Dr. Bhattacharya. Mr. President, this is the start of a historic shift in medical culture. This administration is working together to ask big questions about why our nation's children are getting sick so fast. Too often, medicine is doing small little studies, giving us answers we already knew. But we've got to make a difference. You've given us a charge to identify root causes, and we are not going to stop so that we can end the suffering we are watching. And if you've seen a kid with autism...
Dish said that the chemotherapy drugs cured her cat.
All right, so now what we need to do is we need Dish's cat to have a bunch of baby kittens, and then that'll stop the autism rate in cats by natural selection
Perfect. We've cured autism in cats.
and high reproductive fitness. So basically what we have to do is pimp out your cat, Dish. Sorry,
Severe
not
autism,
sorry.
it's hard
That's
to
how the
watch.
world goes.
Kids get frustrated,
Breeder
they get
boots.
angry, they can be crying because they want to speak and they can't speak. It's hard to watch, and it may be entirely preventable. For an epidemiologist, that child is an expanding statistic, but for a child, it can be brutal to have autism. Today, the FDA is taking action to update the label on acetaminophen and sending a letter to all U.S. doctors letting them know about the risks in pregnancy. We now have data we cannot ignore. There's a very large study.
Where is that data?
Boston birth cohort with
Okay.
The Boston birth cohort. This doesn't sound like an unbiased source. I'm just going to say that. The Boston...
Long-term prospective gene environmental study at Johns Hopkins University.
The
All right,
Boston
let's see.
birth cohort. Okay, it's just a subdivision of the National Institute of Health. Dude, I'm nervous as to what the fuck this is gonna have. Hold up.
All right, let's
Boston
see him
birth
explain it first
cohort.
before we look through it. Let's see what he has to say about it before
Hold
we.
up. Autism research. Hold up.
With researchers that have, from Johns Hopkins, my former institution, and Boston University, found quote unquote consistent associations between acetaminophen in pregnancy and autism. And the nurses helped.
Okay. Let's hear that one more time. I just want to understand what he's saying.
Very large study, the Boston birth cohort, with researchers that have, from Johns Hopkins, my former institution, and Boston University, found quote unquote consistent associations between acetaminophen in pregnancy and autism. And the Nurses' Health Study, with researchers from Yale, Columbia, and Harvard looking at 9,000 kids, found that acetaminophen use in pregnancy was associated with neurodevelopmental disorders. And 4 weeks ago, a Mount Sinai Harvard study reviewed all the existing literature and found the overwhelming body.
Wait. You
Let's go
just
through
lied
these
there.
sources.
That's not a study. That would be a what's the thing below a study? It's a collection of sources and studies and data summarized.
Let's go through these sources one by one.
All right, let's check out the Boston birth cohort thing first. So, affiliations expand. John Hopkins. Okay, yeah, this is it. So, abstract. This is going to be the actual study. Results. Sessions on maternal diet before and during pregnancy is an important determinant of neurodevelopment. However, until this research, only a few studies assess the role of micronutrients such as maternal folate, vitamin B12, and autism spectrum disorder to fill the 4.5 times. Wait, no. Dude, this is a massive fucking like conclusion.
Can you link this to me?
Yeah, I'm gonna link this to you so that you can go through this because this is way too much information without me reading through all of the study on stream, which will just take way too long. I linked it to you in Discord DMs. It's the second one I sent you.
All right.
I'm gonna look to see if there's another study that's a little more recent. All studies mentioned in the autism update today. Boston birth cohort.
Let's go back to his results and see.
All right.
Body of evidence points to an association. Sure, you'll be able to find a study to the contrary. That's how science works. But to quote the dean...
Oh, I
No.
hate when people do this.
No. You can't just find a study to the contrary. You find millions of studies. All right, maybe millions is pushing it. You find hundreds of studies to the contrary. So if there's 400 peer-reviewed studies that argue the contrary, you expect me to listen to the 5 that argue your point of view that have been funded by people on your side?
Yeah, that are and like here's the big thing. They're peer reviewed probably right now because they're the government, right? But let's be real. Are the people reviewing government studies always the least biased? Because let's be honest, it's these 3 that are the most likely to review their own study. Do you think there's going to be much ideological disagreement on autism and vaccines and autism and Tylenol from fucking RFK Jr., the guy who swam in a river of poop 2 weeks ago or something.
Yo, bro.
Of the Harvard School of Public Health. There is a causal relationship between prenatal acetaminophen use and neurodevelopmental disorders of ADHD and autism spectrum disorder. We cannot wait any longer. And honestly, there's been this perfunctory, reactionary, mindless practice in medicine. I learned it in medical school and residency. Just treat all fevers, low-grade fevers, treat them with acetaminophen. Why? What are we doing? A study out of Hopkins actually showed that treating a fever can prolong the duration of illness in a young kid. Maybe that's because a fever is a body's natural way of ridding an infection.
What? Is that true?
What did he say? I'm reading a study.
Okay, hold up.
And honestly, there's been this perfunctory, reactionary, mindless practice in medicine. I learned it in medical school and residency. Just treat all fevers, low-grade fevers, treat them with acetaminophen. Why? What are we doing? A study out of Hopkins actually showed that treating a fever can prolong the duration of illness in a young kid.
Okay, so according to this guy,
What the fuck?
a
The whole
study
point
from
of yeah,
What?
yeah, bro. Sure.
We'll just reverse Boots's vasectomy then. It's okay.
Also, the Harvard study that they quoted, I'm looking at it now. It goes 27 of these. Okay, they had 46, right? 46 studies for inclusion or analysis. Of these, 27 studies reported positive associations. 9 showed null associations. 4 indicated negative associations. Out of millions of how many people? How many people give or take live in the U.S.?
Population of the U.S.
Our population of autistic people in the U.S. You're gonna
Population of
generalize that
autistic
whole number
people.
to the results of 27 studies? Yeah, unless like I feel like this is too
4.5
small of.
million adults.
Yeah, you're gonna generalize the results of 27 studies to 4.5 million people. I don't see how this correlates logically. Unless these 27 were large scale enough that you can generalize them to the entire population of autistic and non-autistic people in the United States, obviously it's going to show the results you want if you cherry pick the people that you're choosing or the evidence that you're choosing. You can't generalize such a small number of studies to the entire population of people. That's like me, if I pick, okay, you, your cousin, I don't know, and 3 other people, and they all have autism, and they all use Discord.
I found the guy's
Discord
name.
rates connect autism. Like, you can't generalize.
Director Dr. J. Berchiari? Berchiria?
Yeah, I don't know.
Battattac. Bachara?
Yeah,
Bashara?
I have no idea. I have no idea. But still, I'm saying you can't generalize such a small amount of results to a general population of so many people.
Let's get any study. Here we go. Boston birth cohort study. This is the one. This is the correct one. I sent you the wrong one.
Okay. I was reading up on the one from Harvard, not that one.
I found the Boston birth cohort study that he just cited.
Okay.
So of the 996 participants, standard age of 9.8 to 3.9 years, 548, 55% male. The final sample included 257 children, 25.8%, with ADHD only, 66, 6.6%, with autism spectrum disorder only, and 42% with both autism and ADHD. With other and 30% had other developmental disorders, and 300 of them were neurotypical.
You know,
Unchanged acetaminophen levels were detectable in all cord plasma samples, compared with being in the first. Fucking hell, can you guys use smaller words?
all right, but you know what else? This is what I'm saying. You can't generalize such small results to the entire population because what you said
Wait.
about 50% of them were boys.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously their results are gonna subject or result in more or higher levels of autism because autism and ADHD are more common in boys.
And more
So
easily diagnosable younger in boys at that.
so you can't generalize a population of mainly boys who are more likely to develop autism to a population that's not just mainly boys, right? Because like it seems so like obvious. You can't assume that results from mostly boys are going to generalize to a population that's not just mostly boys. Obviously, the population of the autistic people in the US are not just men. Although there might be more men that have autism than women. You can't generalize this result because that's not how the population looks in the real world instead of this confined study.
Yeah, and even like I just read the conclusion. It says that there's enough cause for concern in the data to warrant further investigation, but it isn't conclusive of anything. And yet they're
Mm-hmm.
using it in this speech to be like, it's conclusive. We're banning the use of Tylenol for
Yep.
pregnancy. That's
Yep.
genuinely insane. I have no clue how to say your name. We're going over the Trump autism press conference.
Maybe that's because a fever is a body's natural way of ridding an infection. When my wife was pregnant and delivered our son a few months ago, they pushed her to take acetaminophen for a low-grade fever. She said no, and then they looked to me and I said, absolutely new. I'm also here to announce good news. Today, the FDA is filing a Federal Register notice to change the label on an exciting treatment called prescription leucovorin so that it can be available to children with autism. You know, autism may also be due to an autoimmune reaction to a folate receptor on the brain, not allowing
That's
that
what I was
important
saying.
vitamin to get into the brain cells. It's a fairly established, mature pathway. Again, we have a duty to let doctors and the public know. We are going to change the label to make it available. Hundreds of thousands of kids, in my opinion.
Is there data on this actually helping?
That's what I'm saying.
Or are you
Also,
letting these parents inject their autistic children with a drug that is
leukovorin.
untested for the purposes that you're claiming it's necessary for?
Also, I just want to point out, you heard when he said it's our duty to let these doctors know. Shouldn't it be the other way around, where the doctors who are doing the research should let the government know how to go about helping the nation?
Yeah,
Since when has the government been spoon feeding the doctors what they should be telling people?
exactly. Well, I mean, if you're a conspiracy theorist, you'll claim always, but
Will benefit. One study found that with kids with autism and chronic folate deficiency, 2/3 of kids with autism symptoms had improvement, and some marked improvement.
One
Mr.
study
President, you told us
found.
to do what's medically right, to go bold, and not worry about the corporations and the lobbyists. So that's what we're here doing today. Thank you, Mr. President.
Good, thank you. Thanks, Marty. I think you all appreciate the passion in the president's voice. We've been hearing that since the inauguration. In fact, even before the inauguration,
Trump is
the president
literally
was upset
falling asleep,
about what he
bro.
spoke to today. And so together with Secretary Kennedy, who's made it his life's work to address some of these challenges with autism, they challenged us. In fact, they were harsher than that. They wanted no silos to break down what the NIH would do, what the FDA would do, what CMS would do. They insisted that the physician leaders bust through the clutter because their agencies had the power if We didn't do what every other prior administration had done, which is to let people function within their siloed environments. Because of that, in historic fashion, in a very accelerated manner, we have a response today to the autism crisis. It is the first of several chapters, but this is breaking news. You've heard some of it. The response to the autism crisis is going to continue to come to you under Secretary Kennedy's leadership, and the president wouldn't have it any other way, as you've heard. The FDA, based on NIH research, is approving
Bro, he's
prescription
literally
leucovorin
about to fall
for
down
treatment
and
of
sleep.
autistic children.
That's
Now, if you're
insane,
following
bro.
the script, there should be two questions that you have. Two questions
Grandpa's
that should come to
really
your mind.
ready
The
for
first
bed
is,
now,
how will
exactly.
patients and parents get access to the treatment? I'll tell you how. Over half of American children are covered by Medicaid and CHIP, government health insurance. Over half. Therefore, because they're covered in Medicaid and CHIP, upon this label change by Marty, state Medicaid programs in partnership with CMS will cover prescription leucovorin around the country. It's yours, but you have to go to a doctor to get a prescription because they know your child, they know you, and they know the medication. States will also have tools to monitor its use and ensure appropriate utilization. That's important for a bunch of reasons because we want the right kids getting the right prescription medications. We believe private insurance companies will rapidly follow our lead if they have not already done so. And again, to make sure that this is safe and effective treatment, you need a physician to prescribe the medication because it's on prescription. Second big question. How are we going to collect clinical data to answer the big questions that the president's asking and the secretary insists that we offer? CMS is also issuing guidance to convene states and existing research networks to support NIH and FDA in their research efforts on prescription leucovorin, while also maintaining the privacy of all patients, all health information of our beneficiaries. Collecting real-world data, which is what many of you have been asking us to do in the community, is fast, it is life-saving, and we'll get answers based on what happens over the next few months with this approach. The aggressive
I have no problem with that.
I don't have a necessary
If
issue with it. My big fear is that
that the results will be skewed.
not just skewed, but my bigger fear is that it'll be used to build like a database of people with autism, which is something that RFK Jr. has said he wants to do. He wants like a
Oh my God.
place to basically document anyone with autism.
No, if it has to do with documenting people, I'm sure Palantir is already all over that.
Yeah, I'm a little worried
This
about that, but besides the like security risk of like collecting data from people who aren't a part of like a secured study, I don't necessarily have an issue with it. They do need people who are going to be very intelligent on it though, because you're not just at that point getting information from someone like a doctor who's like neutral on this. There could be a doctor who's like very ardently anti-vax who's going
Oh
to
man.
fudge the numbers and everything. I mean, this has got to be done very well, and I don't know if this is the administration I would trust to do it the most, but
Yeah,
we'll
I
see.
agree.
approach and is aggressive, demanded by the president and by the secretary, have already identified risk factors and opened the door for the first FDA-recognized treatment pathway for autism. It is the first of its kind, and it wouldn't have happened without the leadership of the president and the secretary. The fivefold increased prevalence of autism over the past 25 years demands a rapid response. The average clinician, researcher, we spoke to many, thought it would take 5 years to get this data. Parents are unwilling to wait 5 years. The president is unwilling to wait 5 years for these results. So the president and the secretary are acting today with this tri-agency move. The administration's bold actions investing in groundbreaking research follow the science. They restore trust, which has been lacking, and they will change the trajectory for millions of American families. Mr. President, God bless you for being brave. So let me introduce Dr. Fink, who's acting administrator, and after Dr. Fink, we've got some wonderful women, Jackie and Amanda. I know it's going to be tough, but if you can make some comments about this historic day, God bless you.
All right. From what I've heard, I don't think we need to listen to the two parents. We'll listen to this doctor, and then that's it.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. President, for this opportunity to speak with all of you today. As a pediatrician and mom, I'm here today to talk about what this announcement means for the millions of moms and dads who are faced with the choice of whether to take acetaminophen during pregnancy. It's hard to hear information that challenges the status quo. We are sharing this information not to confuse, but to empower parents to make the best choices when taking medications during pregnancy. We are all concerned about the rising rates of neurodevelopmental disorders, including autism. President Trump and Secretary Kennedy are dedicated to radical transparency so that patients have the best, most up-to-date information. We are also sharing this information with our nation's doctors, and we encourage you, as always, to consult with your doctor to make the best decision for you. All too often, it's easy to think that medicines we buy without a prescription pose little to no risk for the mom or the baby.
Okay.
As you heard today, pregnant women who need high fever or pain reduction during pregnancy should take the lowest effective dose of acetaminophen for the shortest possible duration. Most women will not meet these indications during their pregnancies. I am encouraged by these developments today because it is another example of our commitment to the American people to leave no stone unturned in improving the health of our nation's children. Next, I'm going to turn it over to some incredible mothers who are going to share more about their stories, and we're so grateful to have you here today.
All right, bro.
All right, and then
So I just want to say acetaminophen is basically Tylenol, essentially, because I noticed that term is used throughout this conference. So it's essentially Tylenol. And I just recommend...
acetaminophen is Tylenol, dumb fuck. It's not
Tylenol is the
essentially.
brand name. Yeah, Tylenol is a brand name for acetaminophen. I don't know. Yeah, this
I don't know
guy.
why he felt the need to be like, which is essentially Tylenol. It
He
is
just wanted
Tylenol.
He just wanted something to say.
recommend strongly that you don't use Tylenol unless it's absolutely necessary. I understand it's maybe 10% of the women that are pregnant are, would perhaps be forced to use it, and that would mean you just
I would
can't tough
love
it out.
to
No
see
matter
where
what
he
you
got
do, you
that
can't tough it
number.
out. So that's up to you and your doctor. But there's a very strong recommendation, maybe stronger from me than from the group, because they're waiting for certain studies. I just want to say, I want to say it like it is. Don't take Tylenol. Don't take it. If you just
Wow.
can't, I mean, it's fight like hell not to take it. There may be a point where you have to, and that you have to work out
Fight
with
like
yourself.
hell to
Don't take
not take
Tylenol.
autism.
Other
I
things
mean, not
that
take
we
Tylenol.
recommend, or certainly I do anyway, is, and it's so important to me to see the doctor 4 times or 5 times for a vaccine. Don't let them pump your baby up with the largest pile of stuff you've ever seen in your life going into the delicate
Yeah,
little
Toad
body
said
of a
they're
baby.
gonna
Even if
take
it's 2 years, 3 years, 4
acetaminophen.
years, you just break it up into, I would say 5.
I
but
mean, like,
Fighting
take
the
it if you
Trump
need
doctor
it.
instead of
autism.
1.
Yes,
And
exactly.
certain
Take it
things
if
I
you
think you
need
should
it.
do
Don't just
with
go
more
around
taken out,
taking
and in
acetaminophen
the
for no
process of
reason.
taking out mercury
Big
and
fan
aluminum.
of
Now,
Tylenol,
you know what mercury
actually.
is. You know what aluminum is. Who the hell?
All right, Dish, I have a super unbiased study since you are one with the TISM, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to have you get pregnant and we're going to give you a bunch of Tylenol. You're going to take Tylenol every day. And we're going to see if the kid turns out autistic or normal. And even if the kid turns out normal, it's still autistic connected to Tylenol. We've got it. Me and Dr. Kennethy Rodriguez.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, me and Dr. Kennethy here of the National Institute of Health. Big RFK Jr. fans, by the way. Hire us. We're gonna like give him this data, and then RFK is gonna sit there in a press conference and go, "So we had a autistic person get pregnant and gave them Tylenol."
The worst part is that if Dish did get pregnant and did give birth to an autistic child while taking Tylenol, I'd put money on the fact that it was more likely caused by the fact that Dish already has autism and that they just passed it down. And the
I
Tylenol
lean
had
to the
nothing to do with it.
Tylenol. I lean to the Tylenol. I mean, Kenny, you're telling me you don't respect the authority of RFK Jr., the greatest medical mind in America?
Yeah. It's like me calling Freud the greatest medical mind of psychology.
Once
Jesus.
that pumped
Hold
into a
up.
body. And there were rumors about both
Yes.
of them for a long
Yes, this is for a very important study me and Kenny need to conduct.
Yes, of course.
Toad wanna be the daddy. That's what.
time, but we're having them taken out. We're having them taken out of the vaccines. Hepatitis B, again, that's sexually transmitted, and we think you should wait. I think you should wait till 12. You know, I'm just making these statements from me. I'm not making them from these doctors, because when they...
Bro, RFK Jr. is not a doctor.
RK Jr. is nowhere near a doctor. RFK
that'd be
Jr.
like
probably
if
can't even spell doctor.
that'd be if like I pointed to Toad while they hold like a crystal in their hand. It'd be like from a leading medical authority, and Toad is like, put rock to your head, cancer go away. That's the level
Toad,
this motherfucker here is on.
Toad with a crystal ball is peering into the future and saying that this is true.
They talk about, different results, different studies. I talk about a lot of common sense, and they have that too. They have that too a lot. But I recommend the hepatitis B. Take it at 12. Sexually transmitted. You don't have to give it to the baby when the baby's 2 years old. And there are a lot of theories
You
on that, but
literally
not when they're
do,
12.
though.
Doesn't seem to be a
You
problem at
do,
all.
yeah, no, exactly. Because if you
You
don't,
literally do.
if the mother has hepatitis A or B, she's going to infect her child,
Bro,
and then that
bro.
kid's nerfed from spawning in.
Yo,
The
bro.
MMR and the chickenpox. Chickenpox has already been broken out. It's a singular shot, but the MMR is not. And I've heard for years that there's a problem with it, but they say that there's no problem if you do each shot separately, not put together. So an MMR, go out and do it separately. Don't take Tylenol. Don't give Tylenol to the baby after the baby's born. Every time the baby gets a shot, the baby gets a shot. They say, here, take a cup of Tylenol. I've heard that for years. Take Tylenol. Don't take Tylenol. Don't have your baby take Tylenol. Now, Tylenol is fine for people that aren't pregnant, that aren't in the situation that we're talking about. One very specific situation. If you're pregnant, don't take Tylenol. When you have your baby, don't give your baby Tylenol at all.
What is this idol pose, bro? She looks like the Joker in the background.
Yo, bro, she's bro.
Did I ever tell you how I got these scars?
She my father. My father. Bro, I seriously do not understand the logic of she's
Fucking pose is too good.
like he
Unless it's
straight up just
absolutely
told people to not take Tylenol at all.
Yeah,
Like,
dude, and he's saying it based off of a study with a laughable sample size at that.
yo, bro,
That'd be like if I did a study that was like, I don't know, Polaroid cameras cause thyroid cancer. And my evidence is this person I knew owned a Polaroid and had thyroid cancer. And my friend who doesn't own one doesn't, right? That's my sample size.
literally, that's stupid. Like, there's no, you can't generalize a study like that to the entire population because it doesn't fit the demographic of the entire population.
Exactly. And yeah, no, Toad, there is like Tylenol specifically for babies. They're arguing that like that in of itself is harmful, which it's just insane. These people have no fucking understanding of anything medical.
Like,
necessary. Don't do it. Break up your visits to the doctors. Break them up. Do it in 5 if you can. Now, it's inconvenient. It's inconvenient. Oh, you got to have to go back another year later. You're going to go back each year for 4 years, 5 years, 3 years. Just break it up. Break it up.
how about you just
Because it's too
vaccinate your
much
kids?
Liquid.
I
Too
don't.
many different things are going into that baby at too big a number.
She doesn't even know
The
what he's
size of this thing,
talking
when you look
about.
at it, it's like 80 different vaccines and beyond vaccines, and 80.
He straight up
80?
just doesn't know what he's talking about. He just doesn't know what he's talking about.
If you don't take the whole frickin' bottle, it's fine. Yeah, no, exactly.
Then you give that to a little kid. I mean, I can tell you that I had a woman who worked for me, a beautiful, wonderful woman, worked in Trump Tower, and she had the most perfect child. Beautiful, just perfect. And I remember this little blonde-haired boy running around the lobby of Trump Tower, so healthy and so vibrant. And I said, that's great. And one day I came in and she was crying her eyes out behind the counter. She worked at the front desk. She was crying her eyes out. I've never, as much as I've ever seen anyone distraught, she was. I said, are you okay? What happened?
my boy, I've lost my boy. What does that mean, your boy? My boy, you know him, sir. You've seen him grow up. He was so beautiful. And I took him for a vaccine, sir.
What
And he
the?
developed this
Bro, no way.
unbelievable. I think she said 107, 108. You know, it goes well beyond when this happens. It goes up to 106, 107, 108. You know, we hear 105 and you're in trouble, but it just goes up.
Dude, even RFK Jr. is like, brother, you're capping.
What is this guy? What is he even on about? What is the
To a
point of
level
this
that you never
anecdote?
hear about, but it goes up very high. And it's fried. They get fried. She said, I took him, he developed an unbelievable temperature. And I've lost him, sir. He's gone. And then I saw the boy. It was so tragic to see. That was the following
What?
day. That was the following day after the vaccine. And I've seen it 2 other times, and I think 3 other times, but 2 other times, where they go to the doctor and they get the vaccine, they get the shot, the kid.
What?
Is she saying that the vaccine killed her, that her daughter, her
Son,
son?
I think. I'm
He's saying
so
that.
confused.
Yo, get this guy off my screen. Get
is,
this guy off my
you
screen.
know,
Get this.
badly hurt. Let's be nice. Badly hurt. And just do it. Break it up into 5. Break it
Wait,
up.
hold up. He's saying that the kid was badly hurt, but didn't he just claim that he died?
Yo, bro, this guy's. I don't understand. This guy,
Bro hit the reboot and was okay, I guess.
he's deranged, bro. He's old and deranged.
To 4. Break it up into 3 if you have to, but go to the doctor 4 times instead of once, or 5 times instead of once. And for some reason, they insist that you put it all into the body, and maybe that's the drug companies that make more money that way. Maybe it's the doctors because they don't want to be, you know, doing this so much. Maybe it's the doctors. They get maybe more money. Who the hell knows what it is? Don't do it. Get them broken into 4 or 5 visits. Do it 4 or 5. That means you have 20%, 25% what you're putting into the baby's body. It can only help. It can only help. And the other things I told you about, just
It was a
the word tough it out. You know, it's easy for me to say tough it out, but
I don't know.
sometimes in life, with a lot of other things, you have to tough it out also. Don't take Tylenol. Don't give Tylenol to the baby. When the baby's born, they throw it at you. Here, give him a couple of Tylenol.
Look
They
at
give him a shot.
the
They give him a
doctor,
vaccine.
Dr. Fink on
And every
his
time they
right. Look
give
at
him
the face that she's making. She clearly does not approve of him saying, "Don't take Tylenol at all."
It's kind of clear RFK doesn't either. Also, why does it look like RFK's head is like shrinking inward? I just noticed this.
Vaccine.
He
They
kind of
throw
looks like the
Tylenol.
number 8.
And some of these babies,
does.
they're long born, and all of a sudden they're gone. And
This looks like the before evolution photo.
it doesn't hurt not to do it. It doesn't hurt. There's no downside. There's no downside at all. And break up MMR. Break it up.
Before
It's practically a known
evolution.
fact that if you break it up, you're not going to have a problem. But for
Before
years, we've
natural
been hearing how
selection.
bad MMR is as a combination. And I'm very happy that you broke out chickenpox because that was really a problem. And there are other things. It's interesting because there are other things, we were talking about it, other different drugs, pills that you take that we know are so bad and they don't take them anymore. But for some reason, with this, they keep taking it. Don't take Tylenol. There's no downside. Don't take it. You'll be uncomfortable. It won't be as easy, maybe.
Yo, look,
but don't
none of
take
them
it.
approve
If
of
you're
what he's
pregnant,
saying
don't
right
take
now.
Tylenol.
Yeah, don't take Tylenol when you're a mother and like you being uncomfortable can cause the baby to die. Don't take it though.
Yeah. Don't take Tylenol. The most common and widely available over-the-counter pain medicine ever. Right? Just don't take it.
Yeah, it's easy.
Instead, what you should do as a pregnant woman is go to your doctor's office, get on your hands and knees, and beg for a prescription of oxycodone.
Yeah, no, because as we all know, oxycodone is the better drug to take.
Yes, of course.
Oxycodone not only prevents autism, but it reverses it.
Yeah. You can't, your baby
Same
can't.
with same with farm grade ivermectin. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, your baby can't have your baby can't have autism if you overdose on oxycodone and die.
So I have a question. Can we like pour the new drug into Elon and hope it fixes him?
I forgot Elon was autistic.
And don't give it to the baby after the baby is born.
And you know what? We have more than 3 years left. And I told Bobby and the doctors behind me, and they are so committed to this, I told them that this is the number one thing I want to do from you. And you know, we have something else called favored nations, where I'm going to be reducing drug prices by 1,000%, by 900, 600, 500, 1,200.
Everywhere but
We're going to be
here.
reducing drug prices at levels never seen. It's called favored nations. We're going to be paying what the right now, we're like the garbage can for the rest of the world, and we have been for forever. We pay much higher for drugs than the rest of the world. We subsidize the rest of the world. We're not doing that anymore. And that's a big thing. That's a big thing. That's bigger than anything. I told the story the other night that I was
Shit,
so proud of my
RFK
first
seizing in the background.
term.
Oh my gosh.
That for
Give him
the
a
final
little
year, drug prices
correction or
went down
whatever.
1/4%, and I was so proud. I said, "Why?" I'm the first one to do it. I think it was 28 years. They said where drug prices went down from the beginning of the term to the end, and I was so proud. I called a news conference. I said, "You know, drug prices have gone down. First time it's happened in 28 years. You know what it was? 1/4%. I was so proud. Now we're going to have them go down from $100 a pill to $9 a pill, from $1,300 for a shot of."
I have no clue what this has to do with autism, but okay.
I have no clue what anything
Okay,
has to do with
so
anything.
we're going to give our conclusions here. I think we've seen enough of this. I don't think the last like 15 minutes of Trump yapping is going to change that.
Yeah.
So, Kenny, give me your thoughts.
I think that unless hard evidence from multiple studies that have a large enough population that can be generalized to the rest of the population of autistic individuals in the United States comes out, this can't be proven right. Because now we're just going off of word of mouth. We're saying we're just right now, everything that they said is what they believed. Because the studies that they cited are not
They don't agree
like,
with what they're claiming.
well,
Like the
that
conclusion
too.
is.
They don't even agree with their conclusion in the first place. But at the same time, it's not representative of the general population of the U.S. So you can't generalize that result to everybody in the U.S. Unless multiple studies that come out that prove this is right. This is just speculation and word of mouth.
No, I completely agree. And I'll say this, like, the one thing that like makes me really nervous is the way that they're talking about autism as well. I mean, saying things like the autism ideology. Like
The autism, they
we're
need
gonna
to arrest.
like
And
that's creepy. That's scary.
yeah.
That's a little bit what happens before we all go get sent on a train to Poland, to quote history. Like that to me
Have
it
you ever
seems like they're in the classification step of like a genocide almost.
have
And
you ever
that's
heard
super
the
conspiratorial though, I know. Go ahead.
have you ever heard the first they came for poem?
Yeah.
It was first they came for the Jews and I didn't speak out because I'm not a Jew. And then they came for the socialists and I didn't
First they
speak out because I'm not a socialist.
Hold up. We're gonna actually listen to a fire leftist song 1 second.
Then they came for the trade unionists and I didn't speak out because I'm not a trade unionist. And then they came for me and there was nobody left to speak out for me. Kind of how it goes. Oh crap! I'm playing Tetris right now and I'm losing. We're gonna listen to a Tetris, not a Tetris, a leftist song.
Yeah, there's a song I've seen on TikTok.
Oh, it's a song about the poem, or it's just it's
Yeah.
just.
I think this might be it.
Relating to our membership of the European Commission on Human Rights and its operation.
I have no. Hold on.
Whether it's
crazy, you want weakening, sick sickening, right stripping, nicking. Gonna crush it from you, force it from you, strip it from you. The complacent will be duped, is that you?
There's, I'm trying to find it. There's a song that's, first they came for the socialists, then they came for the, it's like a rap song, and I'm trying to find it.
Are you gonna get copyrighted for playing it on streaming?
I have no clue. Hold up, I'm gonna look it up on TikTok and link it. When do they cure the gay next? Probably soon. I have a feeling that'll come out eventually. Don't forget, we have an Office of Religion.
Do we actually?
Yeah.
They're gonna sign you up for conversion therapy.
Boogeyman, that's what it's called.
Boogeyman?
Found it. This is what we're gonna end our stream on. Wait. Hold up. I just realized what's fucking this up.
What?
I had it in like 2 times.
Dance, baby. Outside the building, I'm getting ready. Me and the boys, we gon' pull up in dresses. I'm crossing, I'm dragging, I'm staying heavy. Jaws at the floor and we pouring bevies. But these jaws are breaking like Ed, Ed, and Eddie. And he flirting, I'll let him. He throwing some bennies. It's snowing in here. She want sniff on the caddy. I'm going. First they came for the socialists, then they went for the commies, then they went for the gay folks. I was like, I don't care, not me. Then they went for the Jews and the blacks and the trans. I was like, I don't care, not me, not me, not me.
Not me.
Come on, hit the boogeyman. Soon they'll get your boogie band. One day they'll come for you too. One day you'll be the boogeyman. Come on, hit the boogeyman. Soon they'll get your boogie band. One day they'll come for you too. One day you'll be the boogeyman.
Oh, that's kind of fire.
So what do you think?
I mean,
I fuck
the
with the
Boogeyman.
I fuck with
I
it.
rock with it. I rock with it. I'll rock with it. Crap.
I fuck with that song. I'm not gonna lie, that was way quieter than I thought it was gonna be.
You thought it was louder?
Yeah, I've definitely heard a version of it that's way louder. But whatever. Anyway, gang, I hope y'all had a great time watching. I'll see y'all later. Hopefully we'll be live sooner than a